Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Before and After the with your host, truly as always, Queen Crazy K. Be sure if you haven't already, watch, like, follow, and subscribe on both Instagram and both YouTube. Support me and my channel. You're totally missing out on everything if you haven't already. I mean, really great things, podcasts, episodes, entertainment, acting, rapping, and all that good stuff. Anything you need to know, want to know, inside news, all that good stuff. So it totally would be worth your time and enjoyable and realistic and understandable and also good music and funny and entertaining and also something to keep going when you're working out, training, going on the plane, or sleeping, or just in general for wanting an entertainment thing to watch and enjoy. So be sure to watch, like, follow, and subscribe on Instagram and YouTube, Queen Crazy K, if you haven't already. If you have, thank you for supporting me and my channel. Really appreciate that. I know I've given you guys shout outs and we'll give yourself a round of applause, a pat on the back, and enjoy that little shout out that I just gave you. I'm going to be doing a double knockout podcast. This is going to cover over last week and this week combined into two podcasts and two episodes all into one video. The goal is, it was going to be an hour to do a double knockout, but might be a little longer than that. Of course, the goal is the hour for the double knockout podcast. We have reached that goal. If it's longer than that, great. Awesome. Probably going to be most likely an hour and 36 minutes. Like I said, if it's longer than an hour, it's good. As long as it reaches that hour point is the goal. Got a lot of talking about. We had this past weekend in Australia with the Elimination Chamber. Now we're 1 month away from WrestleMania 40. The matches are pretty much lined up for part 1 and 2, but still some superstars on Raw and SmackDown. Need to see what's going on in these last few weeks to see if they can get their way in a WrestleMania match and opportunity. People like Jey Uso, for example. I'm going to start with them because I got a lot of Raw and SmackDown predictions and results. I also did the Elimination Chamber press conference, and I also did the prediction and results of Elimination Chamber. So I will show you all them videos after we're done talking and the conversation. I'll show you all of them and kind of analyze as they go, so you get what's going on and also my opinion and something to enjoy. But I'll show you that at when we're done having a conversation and talking, and then all that good stuff. So let's start with Jey Uso. We've had him, 3 times this happened. When he's versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship belt, Jimmy has screwed him. When he was versing Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship belt, Jimmy has screwed him. When he was Raw SmackDown Tag Team Champions with Cody Rhodes, Jimmy has screwed him over. And I guess, like Jimmy said, he said, no matter how big you get, I'm always going to be your big brother. So it sounds to me that Jimmy Uso, being a big brother, supposed to be the leader, supposed to be the big guy doing big things, isn't like Jey Uso can shine without him, can be big without him, can succeed without him, and he doesn't want that to happen. It seems like almost jealousy that he can succeed without him. I mean, you thought he needed you to be Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions, then he turned around and was Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, showed you that he didn't need you to do that. So you screwed him over in it. He was going to be the first man to defeat Intercontinental Champion Gunther, pushed him in and beyond his limits. And you had to wrap that up. But I know that when Jimmy got his revenge on SmackDown, Jimmy, they was going back and forth. That's when Adam Pearce and from Monday Night Raw management was protecting Jay, as well as Nick Aldis was suspecting as SmackDown manager over Jimmy Uso. And laid to bed at rest. I think that was like a month prior before this happened, even longer than that. And then you screwed him out of the Universal Championship belt with Roman Reigns. And it's like that happened first, then the title shot happened, then the Intercontinental Championship happened. And it's like, well, maybe you screwed him out of the Universal Championship belt against Roman Reigns because he's the only man at 3.5 years been able to defeat and pin Roman Reigns, which you couldn't do. Your little brother could do it, but you couldn't do it as the big brother. And now you found out, okay, he doesn't need you to be tag team champions because you guys attacked him, you went against him, you chose your sides. He got some friends on Raw, became tag team champions with the American Nightmare, a true friend that had his back. That he didn't need you for that either. So you thought, oh, well, I'm going to take that from you. He gets his revenge on SmackDown. You guys go back and forth management. He kind of got his revenge at the Royal Rumble when he lasted, number one, over 55 minutes, I believe it was. Because he lasted on to the end. I for sure was like, Jey Uso should have won that. But maybe next year for sure he'll probably be in it and win. I'm going to be safe and say that right now. And then also, they screwed him out of the Intercontinental Championship. So now Jey Uso has been screwed for the third and the last time. That's the last straw. There's so many things he could have did if it wasn't for him screwing it up, and he just won't let you sign and do it. Every time you get a moment and an opportunity, he always screws it up. Every time you get, attacked or blindsided, he ain't nowhere to be found. So it seems to me a little jealousy going on there. That you think he needed you to succeed, and now that he doesn't, showing you what he could do on his own, you just can't handle the heat. So you're trying to take him down. You're trying to take that from him. And you can't. First man to pin Roman Reigns in 3.5 years. Only Jey Uso has been able to do that. At the Money in the Bank. While you screwed him out of a title shot against him. Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions with you. Now he gets to be Tag Team Champions with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Who had his back because you turned it against him. So you can't be mad that he's living on, making things happen for himself. Then he goes for the Intercontinental Championship and he got the nerve to do it again. And I know they had that forth on, after the whole title shot, when they screwed him out of that one, he attacked him on SmackDown. After the tag team shot, he kind of got a little bit of payback at the Royal Rumble. Like I said, he dominated that match. And then Drew McIntyre jumps in his grill, tries to attack him with the verbal words, and Jey Uso just had enough and just attacked Jey until he could stick up for himself, take it down. Drew McIntyre's all on his own. So probably see after that happened, a Jey versus Drew McIntyre singles action is coming Monday Night Raw. And then after that, I want to see if Jay's going to get to verse Jimmy at WrestleMania to settle what happened this last time with the Intercontinental Championship belt. And speaking of WrestleMania, it reminds me of the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. He was talking about how he called out The Rock for The Rock, slapping him across the face a month ago at WXL press conference, and now he wants his vengeance. You won the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns, before that, has talked about your family so many times and took jabs at you, and particularly as a superstar, as a competitor. Now you just give him a taste of his own medicine. The Rock comes in, slaps you in the face. And like he said, they could boo all they want, but we've all been fans of The Rock and like The Rock. I'm still a fan and like The Rock. And I know all those people saying, boo, you guys probably watching rock movies, doing his moves, wearing his shirts. You know damn well you're fans of The Rock. So you can boo all you want, but you know you watch The Rock. You know you like The Rock. You know you've been fans of The Rock. You may not like him now, but you know you've been fans of him. So you can't take that hard and say, boo, and all this and that. Because even Cody Rhodes getting slapped and degraded by this man. By getting slapped full open hand in the face in front of 1,000 people that was there, maybe, or 100. It depends on at home too. People are watching. Full open hand slaps you in the face, and he still said, "You know what? I still am a fan of The Rock, and I respect The Rock." We all been fans of The Rock. We've all liked the most. You can't deny it. He was wearing his shirts. He liked his wrestling moves. In January, on day one, when he came back on Monday Night Raw, everybody was out of their feet. Everybody was out of their seat, on their feet, cheering The Rock. You all was so happy to see The Rock as much as he was with goosebumps on his arm, literally. You love him just as much as you love him, so you can't deny it. And then he comes back like after the SmackDown thing. I seen him taking pictures and signing with fans, giving them that signature after SmackDown went off air, to show that still heart to heart with the fans. And again, that's when people like me are still fans of The Rock. Sure, you might not like what he did, but doesn't mean I'm not a fan. But doesn't mean I don't like him. Because I like Cody Rhodes and The Rock and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I like all these guys that are in this category. But I want Cody Rhodes. See, he called out The Rock for slapping. And I thought the champion spell was going to happen, because he wanted to go after the title to show Roman Reigns he could beat him. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to have, and then Seth Rollins said he has his back. And he's sick and tired of people like The Rock doing what he wants around here just because of how big his name is or how big he is, So with Seth taking jabs at The Rock, not liking how he's overpowering himself, and Cody's mad at The Rock because he slapped him, and Roman is always talking about Seth and Seth can run circles around Roman every time they meet face to face. You want to talk about an injured champion walks with an injured leg, but yet Seth Rollins beat you first for the championship at Money in the Bank when he came back after getting surgery on that knee. 100% man versus a man who just got off knee surgery. Beat you at Money in the Bank for the championship belt. So that knee hasn't given him problems and stopped him for what he was accomplishing before. He definitely wasn't going to let him stop and accomplish now. You talk about, oh, well, in 3 months his back got out. But he's been World Heavyweight Fighting Champion on Raw, SmackDown, WWE Live, after Raw, before SmackDown, after Dark Match, you name it all. Hell, even NXT, been fighting World Heavyweight Champion with a broken back all 2023, whereas you defended it maybe once or twice and needed help to remain champion. Some people can see that, can say that, because it's true. And then I was like, that's when I play both sides because I like both of them. They're both my 5 top favorite guys. So I'm with Seth Rollins, like I said, with the knee thing. Came back, Money in the Bank, beat you for the championship at Money in the Bank. So his knee didn't stop him then and won't stop him now. Was broken back, defending Raw, SmackDown, WWE Live, World Heavyweight Fighting World Champion. Was you defended it once or twice at a pay-per-view and needed help to defend it, to remain champion. And then he got and taking constantly shots at Seth. But like Seth said, there's nothing really to say because, I screwed you out of the Shield. And he's like, I don't regret that because, since then, Seth Rollins has been successful champion. World Heavyweight Champion, Universal, Intercontinental, United States, Raw and SmackDown, you name it all. Seth Rollins has been successful, beating him and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania at the same time to be WWE Champion, cashing in his Money in the Bank. So that was probably the best thing you did, getting yourself out of group, showing what you could do as an individual superstar. Much like Jey Uso, getting himself out of the bloodline, and he could have been Intercontinental Universal Champion. Well, it's like he pinned Roman Reigns, first man to do that 3.5 years. He lasted the longest in the Men's Royal Rumble match. He got revenge on Jimmy, who attacked him several times. And on SmackDown for Shooting Match Championship match, he won the title with Cody Rhodes, show he didn't need his brother to do that. And now he sticks up for himself and fights Drew McIntyre, who's constantly been taking him down since he's came to Raw. And he finally had enough, stuck up for himself, boxing Drew McIntyre backstage. Now we'll probably have a Jey versus Drew McIntyre this coming Raw singles action to show what he could do, get that burden out of the way. And then once that's all over, you got our world champion Seth Rollins watching Jey Uso probably beat Drew McIntyre in the singles action. I want Jey Uso to show he could beat Drew in singles action and then maybe get the match with Jimmy at WrestleMania. And after Drew gets done with that match, he'll be be focusing on Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania as he won the Elimination Chamber men's, and Seth, he already said he'll be clear to defend it. But then you have, on the other side, on SmackDown, you got Roman Reigns now. You got define champion. Over 3 years, a dominant Universal Champion. Smashed everybody that he's ever versed. Whether it's SmackDown destroying them, whether it's pay-per-views remaining champion, whether it's main event WrestleMania, like he's done it all and been able to crawl. And like I said, even after the Shield, he's been able to be a dominant 3.5 years Universal Champion. He's been Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion. He's won the Royal Rumble. He's done great things too. He's gotten to do all the things since then too. So breaking up the Shield was probably the best thing. Sure, they dominate together with Roman and Seth as the Shield. Now you got Roman running SmackDown since the Shield, Seth running Raw since the Shield. So dominate together, but also dominate on Raw and SmackDown still today, 11 years later. I think it's been 11 years since the Shield. I know it's 10, but that year slipped by now. And now you're both still dominant and successful, but they continue to take shots every time they, get around each other and stuff. The same as now we got The Rock involved and Cody involved. Cody Rhodes being the Royal Rumble winner, taking on Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. It's like Roman Reigns like, well, history's gonna repeat itself. I'm gonna smash you with the championship belt. And it's like this time, with Cody Rhodes getting a second opportunity, winning the Royal Rumble men's match for a second time, this is his time to finish his story, to do what he set his mind to do, stick up for his family that they've been taking several shots at, like he's been doing. He's been getting on that rage, and he showed you what it feels like, and they didn't like it. And them just constantly trying to tear him down as a superstar. He's been a tag team champion. He's been a part of the dominant legacy team with the Viper, 14-time world champion Randy Orton. And on top of him being tag team champion, and then with back then, and then also now he's been tag team champion again with Jey Uso. And he's won the Royal Rumble twice. He's been A&W champion. There's a reason why he's the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He had to find himself, and he has dominated. It's not like he hasn't done anything. And he fights his heart out, winning all these matches, up and down Raw and SmackDown, and the Dirty Lights, and the Dark Match, and shows the love and respect to the fans, that connection that comes along with it that makes it possible to wrestle in the ring. He talks and backs it up by winning the matches. He believes in himself and has the heart and the love for the company and himself. Now this is the part where, like I said, he beats a man, sticks up for himself, and that's exactly what he did. Letting Paul Heyman know, I'm sending a message to you, Roman Reigns, The Rock, Jimmy, Solo, any of the Bloodline members, anybody that's down to me, I'm sending you a message right now. Dominating every security guard in that ring, winning his match, and speaking amongst himself as he set his mind to do. And he did that. Then also on top of it, you constantly talking about his personal stuff. Acting like he hasn't done anything. Acting like, he's a nobody just because he hasn't done exactly like, oh, you haven't won a championship belt, but he has done great things. So now he takes a jab at you and then you slap him openly across the face. But how many times have you done that to him? So now this is the part where Cody Rhodes does need to finish his story by sticking up for his family, sticking up for himself, proving all the doubters like Roman Reigns wrong, and beat him for the championship belt at WrestleMania 40 just to show Roman that he can do it better than just saying it, because he's doubting him, so he needs to prove that doubter wrong. And then you guys like, oh, why you do that? Or World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins is going against our men's Elimination Chamber winner Drew McIntyre to set him down, to show him that his back, his knee, whatever you want to say, is not going to get in the way of Seth freaking Rollins walking out World Heavyweight Champion. It hasn't before, and it ain't going to start now. That's what he wants to prove. And then he brought up the Bloodline. See what I think is happening at WrestleMania. I think they're going to have 2 matches with Seth and Cody. I think they're trying to thrive where Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins team up against Roman and The Rock on night 1, so that Cody can get his revenge on The Rock for slapping him in the face. Seth can get his revenge on Roman constantly taking shots at him. And a tag team action on night 1. I think that's going to happen. And then night 2, that's when Cody needs to finish story, beat Roman for the championship belt, because he needs to prove to him that he can do it, because he's been doubting him since day 1. And then that's when Seth, World Heavyweight Champion, not going to let any limbs, broken bodies. He's going to put the sweat, the blood, the tears, and the heart and the fight that he always does into that ring and beat Drew McIntyre, who thinks he's like, oh yeah, I see where the hard part is. I'm going to take every advantage I can to bring you down. And this is when Seth needs to fight like he always does and take down that burden trying to keep him down and walk out world champion. Now, as far as Jimmy goes, like, oh, the Bloodline's going to be there. I think Jay should get a singles action with Jimmy at WrestleMania to clear it up, since he screwed him out of 3 title shots now. Sure, he got a little revenge in the Royal Rumble and SmackDown, but, with the attack and all that, but I think Jay needs to beat Jimmy in a singles action just to show him he may be my big brother. Agely. Even physically, he's a little bigger than him. But my heart is stronger in this ring, with or without you, and beat him. So that's my predictions for WrestleMania, like as far as the matches, couple matches that need to be added, besides the ones that's already happening, and then a results of WrestleMania, my prediction, because we're a month away, and before you know it, like I said, WrestleMania will be right here. We're already a month away. And before, it felt like just yesterday we were 4 months away. Now we're only 1 month away. So that's what I think is going to clear all that up. Since the press conference back at XL, from Elimination Chamber, from Raw, from SmackDown, to now WrestleMania. That's what I see is happening and where it's building up to. I think our creator Triple H is trying to put that in the best WrestleMania 40, like we said. We'll see that tag team and the championships. And put that all into one place. Now, as far as speaking of Elimination Chamber, the Viper Randy Orton, 14-time World Heavyweight Champion, second generation legend killer, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton, should have won the Elimination Chamber. Got screwed with brass knuckles of a man that was already eliminated, no other than Logan Paul. So I think since he did that we're going to see Randy Orton challenge Logan Paul for the United States Championship belt at WrestleMania to get his revenge for that. And I think that while Randy Orton, what we see, I want to see Randy Orton beat Logan Paul for the United States Championship at WrestleMania to get his revenge for what happened at Elimination Chamber completely. After he makes the challenge, I think he'll make the challenge to SmackDown and complete it at WrestleMania. But after that, like if anybody else gets involved, I think Kevin Owens will have his back to make sure no one else gets involved in that situation, since he has this rivalry going on with him that he just, can't stand the guy. So I think that's what's going to happen in that situation. As well as, Cody and Seth making sure like they get, like Seth walking out World Heavyweight Champion against Drew, and Cody becoming new champion against Roman just to show him he could do it. Jay taking out Jimmy for screwing him constantly, and working together, make sure Solo doesn't get involved, like wipe out the bloodline, that sort of thing that Drew was talking about. But, it's going to be Cody and Seth that do it. Because you just want to get rid of the bloodline so you can take the rug underneath Seth and beat him. Right where it hurts, like you brought up, broken limbs and things like that, that you're going to try to hit him where it hurts. Basically trying to make him give up. And it's like he's heard these things millions of times and overcame them. He's put the haters to sleep. He's put the doubters to rest. He's proven himself every single time. He didn't let anything stop him then. He won't let anything stop him now. The heart of Seth Rollins is stronger than the broken limbs. The fight of Seth Rollins is stronger than the doubters' words. That's why he's a fighting world heavyweight champion, one of our best fighting world heavyweight champions that we ever did see. Because he actually fights for it. He actually defends it constantly. And not just at pay-per-views or, once in a blue moon. No, he constantly defends his championship belt with broken limbs, with exhaustion, with downers, with haters, and remains as such. He's got all the pressure on him, everybody looking at him, everybody trying to tear him down, and he always overcomes it. So the fact that Seth could put that together is why he's a fighting world champion, why he deserves to remain as such against Drew at WrestleMania. So yeah, that would be the greatest WrestleMania if they did both of that, which I think that's where we're getting at. They could do a tag team this year, but I don't think they're going to split it up that way. I think that they're trying to put it together to where Seth and Cody can knock off Roman and The Rock in a singles action, in a tag team, night one, and then see what happens when the titles are on the line. So focus on that. And then it'll give some closure to each individual superstars, like Cody Rhodes got to, be a part of the team that defeated The Rock and Roman for The Rock slapping him. Seth got to be a part of the team to defeat Roman, who's been taking shots from town. Now he can feel confident to remain world champion against Drew. Now Cody can feel confident, like, I could do the same thing this time for the title against Roman. And that's why Jay needs to get a singles match with Jimmy for the title shot situation. Now, the thing is, who's going to handle Solo? I think that maybe Sami Zayn, who's helped Cody Rhodes before and been a really good friend of Jay, Sami Zayn might have Cody Rhodes back, like he's had, and make sure Solo don't get involved. So I think that's where they're building up to. But we'll find out that tag team happens officially along with the title shots that's already happening. I think that's where they're getting at. By him having his back and by him calling out The Rock and by such a little time to WrestleMania. I mean, he said any place, any time, like, hell, you could verse him to SmackDown if you want to, but that's just too good of a match. The Rock versus Cody Rhodes. You beat a guy like the legend The Rock, then how could Roman Reigns possibly doubt that, hey, I just beat the legend, the greatest in WWE history, The Rock in a singles action. So what makes you think I won't defeat an undefeated tribal chief? That'll make his eyes pop out of his head. Make him see him more. That, oh, you just did that. And even when they win the tag team match, and they'll be like, oh, well, you just did that. Your range is becoming to an end. And you can see that better than telling you that. Because, sure, you can talk your stuff, and then you laugh like, oh, yeah, that's so funny how you talk the talk but can't walk the walk. You walk and then you talk. In the tag team, they turn around, they're going to be sweating in their boots before they even make it to the next night. Showing what you can do. That's why I think then Drew is going to try to pull out that evil side and try to take every part of Seth Rollins apart as he can. rip him limb from limb. That's when, you beat The Rock, that Roman's kind of going to be like, wow. But only thing to do is to turn to that evil side and be like, nah, that ain't happening. We're going to keep this in our family, in our bloodline. Like, you ain't taking that away. So, we'll get to see you push to your limits. So, no excuses, the outcome. But, like I said, it's just a matter of booking the singles action and the tag team, though, to complete what needs to happen. And also, another thing, speaking of WrestleMania and Elimination Chamber, we got Bloody Rhea Ripley, Mommy World Women's Champion. Mommy's always on top as she defeats Nia Jax in the Elimination Chamber after being attacked several times from behind. And booted her in the face before that for attacking her from behind. She was on the bump sharing that and remained World Women's Champion. That's you in your hometown, you're with your family, you're with your friends, you're with tons of fans that love you and adore you. And now you get to remain World Women's Champion at this burden. And it's like, yeah, she's been hitting you from behind, but she has been able to knock her off her feet. And she has been a burden that, Mommy just couldn't spiral it in her head to keep her down. And I see it like, you hit her from behind. Anybody can get you down when you hit from behind. Anybody can be dominated when you attack them off guard. Nia Jax is is a strong woman. To be in a competitive singles action match, we've seen her do that. Former Raw Women's Champion, Tag Team Women's Champion, we've seen her dominate. She's been in the Men's Royal Rumble and dominated men. But we also seen Mommy dominate men outside the Royal Rumble, as well as Nia Jax been in the actual Men's Royal Rumble. And it's like, you've been dominating Royal Rumble, but Mommy has won Royal Rumble. You've been dominating the Men's Royal Rumble, but we've seen Mommy pick up and slam dudes, body slamming them around as well. And they were big dudes. We've seen you dominate in that ring, but Mommy was the dominant one. We all seen that she's the leader of the Judgment Day because she always holds them together and dominates as a dominant world women's champion that nobody has been able to stop her except feel pain and defeat after they've been in the ring with her. Just like you may know when you were Raw Women's Champion. You want to talk about you've been tag team, but she's done it all. NXT and UK NXT Women's Champion and Raw Women's Champion and now World Women's Champion. And she's won all of them. Rhea Ripley has won all of them. The only thing that we might see her go at is because now they created the NXT Tag Team Women's Championship belts. But it's like she's already had that tag team in WWE where they had that altercation, where that's where Liv comes in, wanting to get her revenge. But it's like Liv Morgan can say she wanted to get her revenge, but to me, she's already got her revenge because Liv just sat there and said, I want to get my revenge because Rhea Ripley attacked us, broke up our tag team, we're a tag team women's champion. But like you said, you were the last woman to beat Rhea Ripley in a singles match, so you kind of already got your revenge. You've been aggressive with this dominant attitude since she's returned to Raw that she wants to show everybody wrong and just dominate in that ring. Miss Money in the Bank, SmackDown Women's Champion, beat the baddest woman 2 times, Tag Team Women's Champion. She's been in every single women's Elimination Chamber match. Liv Morgan coming back to Monday Night Raw and showing up and showing out. She dominated in that Elimination Chamber match. Showed the fight by knocking off an undefeated streak. She did beat Bianca Belair, the strongest, the roughest, the quickest, the snuffest, the EST of WWE. She did knock her off in the Elimination Chamber. And then she comes to Raw after Elimination Chamber, after, she signed the Raw, did that Elimination Chamber, backing up everything that she said in a singles action. And now I think she wants to go after Becky for getting involved in her match against Nia Jax. Because, if you look at it, Liv Morgan could have won that match. But, and then, she's like, not everything's about you, but you can't be mad at Becky Lynch because Nia did attack Becky Lynch from behind earlier on in that night. So Becky had every right to show her what it feels like to get attacked from behind. Liv Morgan would have done the same thing. So why she's saying everything's not about you, ruining that singles action that she was in a match, you can understand the situation. I mean, you felt that way when you wanted revenge on Rhea Ripley. So you can't be mad at her for feeling the way she does in Nia Jax, especially when her and Nia Jax been going on for over 6 years now. It's been 6 years since that happened. Bringing up the same thing that, oh, I knocked your eye socket out, I busted your face, blah, 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 blah. All you can bring up is one thing that you did to Becky Lynch. And it's not like it shattered her dreams or shattered her career. Like, yeah, you busted her up her face, but then she went and won the Survivor Series after that. So, you didn't really keep her down. And then she beat the hell out of you for talking about her family. And then you beat her at day one. You did get that win, but then you attack her from behind, so she had every right to get her revenge. And knock you out for, you and trying to stir up her and Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley, that's when she got the best of Nia to her face, put a boot right in between her eyes. So I definitely see now, we have the Nia Jax and Becky Lynch match. But with the brawl fights, we're from behind. Adam Pearce did say she was going to be in a match, but it's like it shouldn't be no ordinary match. Maybe we should up it a little bit because we kind of already seen that at day one, the singles action between Becky and Nia. But what I see is going to happen is Becky Lynch will get the best of Nia Jax in their singles action for stirring it up so she can focus on the World Women's Champion Rhea Bloody Ripley at WrestleMania. But in between there, Liv's going to want revenge and intercept her match just like Becky Lynch did last week. That's how she's going to see it. And then Becky Lynch will have to knock off Liv Morgan in a singles action match. And then focus on our World Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. Now, like Becky Lynch has got all these obstacles. She's got to beat Nia Jax. She's got to at least get the best of Nia Jax in the singles match for attacking her. Then she's got to deal with Liv because Liv is going to intercept that match. Then she's got to focus on the most brutal, bloody women's champion we've ever had. Dominant, destructive women's champion. Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. So it's like, for now mommy gets to sit back and relax. And you get to feel the heat. First everyone was at her. Now their attention's towards her opponent. So now she gets to relax and watch her opponent be like, go ahead, share her the strips. And that's where Becky's got to fight and knock off Nia trying to be that burden. Knock off Liv. She's getting involved. Focus on Rhea at WrestleMania. Rhea can already focus on Becky and be like, well, now you can see what Becky's made of. She got through all these burdens that are trying to knock her down. Strong and like Nia Jax. Probably the biggest, strongest one you have on the Raw roster. And Liv Morgan has been aggressive since she's been back on Raw. Now she's got you at WrestleMania. She'll open up her eyes and see what she can do and what she's made of and how much she can handle and take to see, oh, well, what do I got to do that's more brutal than what they already put her through and survived? She won her first Elimination Chamber match as well. She's big time back. She's done it all. She has done the things like the backbone she was talking about of this company. And it's like, well, now Rhea Ripley is the new backbone. Now Rhea Ripley is the toughest woman here to see. And we had it all. And Tiffany showed up and showed out in that Elimination Chamber. There's a reason why she's a former NXT Women's Champion. She dominated in this Women's Elimination Chamber. She deserved to rightfully be on Friday Night SmackDown. She picked up a singles action victory. She stirred it up with the strongest woman, Bianca Belair, slapping her across the face, along with mention that she did on her first day that she was there. Mention, of course, won that singles action. Bianca got her back at Elimination Chamber. But she dominated that match. And Bianca still has an undefeated streak at WrestleMania. And they got Naomi, who's been first ever tag team women's champion, elimination champion, and everybody flew the globe, coming back, showing what she's made of, how she can do that, and she did. Like I said, Lisbon and all of it. Becky Lynch, like I've been saying since day one, before that match even began, before she was even entered, I told you she was going to qualify. I told you she was going to be in it, and she was going to win Women's Elimination Champion, face Rhea Ripley for the World Women's Champion at WrestleMania, and I was right. I told you Rhea Ripley was going to be a dominant World Women's Champion over Nia Jax once and for all, and she did, and now it's be her and Lynch for the Women's Championship belt at WrestleMania, as I said, since day one. Been saying that since Elimination Chamber. And I was right. Nailed it, and now it's going to happen. First time ever, Becky Lynch, the man, versus for the World Women's Championship at WrestleMania, Mommy Bloody Rhea Ripley. So it's going to be good because Rhea Ripley brings out this dark, evil, dominating, destructive, like just wanting to hurt her opponent just because she can attitude in the ring. And Becky Lynch has this heart, this fight, this strength that I'm going to take any beatings you give me, but you ain't going to keep me down. And then Rhea also has, she laughs. She gets that talking and getting in her opponent's head. And that's where, Becky Lynch likes to talk too. I mean, she's been bucking at Rhea Ripley with constant interrupts, on the Raw with her celebration of Rhea Ripley. Then here comes Becky Lynch with the Elimination Chamber press conference, and here comes Becky Lynch, and a couple of times before that, like she was stirring it up that I'm coming after you. And she did that. And, Rhea's focus was on Nia. So she was kind of leaving Becky alone, but Becky reminding her, you can't just turn your back on me completely because I'm going to be right there every step of the way. To remind you, I'm coming for you in that title. And that's exactly what she did. So that's why I said Rhea Ripley was in the pressure box. She had Becky Lynch like, don't forget about me. And she's got everybody, her family, her friends in her hometown not wanting to let them down. And also the excitement of being there. And then you got this woman who's, knocks you off your feet even though she did hit you from behind, to beat her along with this other woman who, what she's made of. Pure bones, heart, and destructive. Like there's no taking her out and keeping her down. You can't keep Becky down. She's going to keep coming back. And she's going to come back harder and stronger. That's why she's been on a big time bet. That's why she's been able to accomplish the things that she has. That's why she's one of the dominant horsewomen that built NXT, which you came from. Before them to me. And it's like, so she was that monkey in the middle. Now she's like, okay, got to be in my family, friends, and they got to be proud of her. She got rid of Nia Jax. She remained a Raw Women's Champion. Now she can focus on Becky at WrestleMania, because that's all what's going on right now. Well, now Becky's the one in the pressure. Before she focused on Rhea Ripley, she's got Nia Jax, and she's got Liv Morgan. And then she's got to think about what she's got to do to be mommy for the World Women's Championship, because now it's getting heated between the two. We might see a brawl before WrestleMania between them now. Because before they weren't even, they're kind of on the same page, nothing but you could tell they respect each other. It wasn't no nothing there, but also like, oh well, I can respect you, but also at the same time let you know I'm the one coming out on top. Take a different shots like that. So now we get to see how Becky does under pressure. Which people like me, she's been under pressure since she's came to WWE. So she knows what it feels like. Everybody trying to take her down, everybody trying to make her the underdog. And the next thing you know, this underdog who you're trying to put underneath everyone became big time Bex when Raw and SmackDown won champion at WrestleMania, and now you see her. And it's like now she's won her first Elimination Chamber match, which you all was doubting her. And now she's going against one of the toughest women in WWE right now, Rhea Ripley, for the World Women's Championship belt. To add that to the cherry on top at WrestleMania. This one, though, is going to be hard for me because I like both Rhea and Becky Lynch. And I like the fire, the heart that Becky Lynch brings in there. She won't stay down. She'll keep fighting stronger and harder. And I'm a big fan of Becky Lynch. I said it since day one that she was going to win this match. I believed in her because I knew that that was going to happen. But I also believed in Mommy. I knew she was going to walk out women's champion. I also am a big fan of Rhea Ripley. I love the strength. I love the look. I love the gratitude coming with the attitude of Rhea. She gives me that vibe that it's kind of hard not to like her because not only is she dominant, but she also has that personality where she's good with the fans, even though she was supposed to be a heel turn. She had that connection with the fans as well as Becky has connection with us that make it possible. And then on top of that, they're not afraid to put their money where their mouth is. Rhea with the dominating strength, Becky with the fighting strength, and they both got heart and they both got talent and they both done great things. NXT Women's Champions, Raw Women's Champions, SmackDown, and now going for the World Women's Champions. They've been dominant, and then Rhea Ripley's been dominant in the Judgment Day group. You've been dominated with the Four Horsewomen that built NXT on your back. So they have great things and similar things that make them what they are today. The man and mommy. Big time Bex, bloody Rhea Ripley. So now it's going to be a good competition. It's going to be a good fight, a good match. Get your money worth. Absolutely, no doubt about it. But it's one of those matches that I'm going to be like, I mean, it's a win-win for me. Whether it's Mommy Women's Champion or Becky Lynch Women's Champion, it's a win-win for me. Because I like them both equally, and they're both on Raw too, so it's not like one of them ain't going to win. But we could see with Nia Jax attacking, if Becky Lynch gets the best of Nia and then knocks out Liv because Liv's going to get involved for that match, we could see like Nia Jax target Becky Lynch at WrestleMania and then Morgan target Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. As Nia's had this rival with Becky, this thing of want to keep Becky down, and Liv is mad about the whole tag team situation, which is yesterday's news but she still feels that of Rhea Ripley, like she's the one that blah blah did all this and that. So I feel like Rhea will remain women's champion, and Becky and Rhea maybe we could see Liv get involved, like I said, trying to get the best of Rhea, and Nia getting the best of Becky at WrestleMania. And then maybe we could bring that to Raw or the next part 2 WrestleMania. Depends on if they're part 1 or part 2. Maybe we could see, like, I was hoping it would happen on part 1 so that after that happened for the Women's Championship belt, we would be able to see Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley team together to beat Nia and Liv Morgan in a tag team action the next night. Man, I'm a good creator. That sounds like a good idea. Rather than just a women's championship belt. Be like, okay, we're going for the women's championship belt, and now these two attack us on night one. What better than night two? See Rhea and Becky work together to defeat Liv and Nia together the second night. I would love to see that. That sounds like a plan. That would be cool to watch. Because it sounds like they got a lot of respect that Rhea and Becky would be just fine because they have respect for what they've done, but also, with the barking at each other, with the interruptions, that Rhea's like, oh, I feel like you don't have as much respect for me with you interrupting me. You want to buck at me. You have something on your chest. You want to get off. And Becky comes out there and says it. She says it right to your face, no matter who you are. And Rhea's like, I can respect you for that because you don't hit from behind. You like to say it to their face. It doesn't matter what kind of beating you take. You'll keep taking it and you'll keep coming back and you'll keep saying what you have to say if that's how you feel. So I think she sees that, and Becky Lynch sees Rhea maybe as a threat because of how dominant and strong she is. Maybe that's why she's fighting so hard to buck at you, to get you to notice her, that she's here, that she's around, and that she ain't going anywhere because she sees you, this strong, empowering woman that can do the things that you do in that ring like nobody else. So I see it definitely. Liv and Nia, everyone's gonna hate it. Screwing the championship belt for Becky and Rhea at WrestleMania Part 1. And after that happens, everyone's going to love it. Part 2, Rhea Ripley and Becky working together to take out Liv and Nia Jax. I think that's a wonderful idea. At the Women's Championship belt, the interference should happen and bring that tag team. I think that would definitely be awesome to watch. Kind of like, okay, we got The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a tag team action before Cody and Seth go for the titles against, Cody against Roman and Seth against Drew the next night. Why not see Rhea Ripley and Liv, or Rhea Ripley and Becky get attacked by Liv and Nia for the World Championship and team up the next night too? Why not see that? Win-win situation, and it'll be the greatest WrestleMania 40 ever. The greatest WrestleMania ever. By the way, if that happens, I want my cut because that was totally my idea. I'm a great creator. I'm a great organizer. I think outside the box. I see the future, the picture, and it's definitely something that, with my vision that I have, put the great creativity into the best WrestleMania 40. I want my cut, and I want my props. Because I came up with the idea and the creation. That was full on blast, awesome, off the chain. I told you, I'm made for this. I'm made for this wrestling, this company, this business. I'm made for it. It naturally comes. Wasn't hard at all to figure that out. To see where it's building. Sure, you create that, it's little stubs. But I create the championship interference and the tag team, along with the other tag team it looks like it's going to happen in the championship. I just made the WrestleMania 40 the greatest WrestleMania ever with my creativity and vision. That's going to be awesome. That's what's going to get people out of their feet. That's what's going to get them to watch and keep on. And it'll be so good that I don't think next year is going to be able to top it. It'll be so good that I don't know what you could possibly do next year to top it at this point, right now. But I know you're going to be pulling up something like, because we see in WrestleMania where it's all supposed to happen and great, but hasn't been like the greatest like this one feels. That's why I wanted to go to this WrestleMania so bad, because I know it's going to be great. I'm going to watch it on Peacock, but not physically be there. And I know it's going to feel and look awesome with my predictions of WrestleMania, with the results of WrestleMania, what they keep on talking about it at the Raw and SmackDown and to my podcast. I know it's going to be great, and it's going to be the talk of the rest of the year that you're not going to be able to recover from it. if that all happens the way that I'm saying. Not gonna recover from it. So with that being said, that covers the big situations here going on between Raw, based on the results around SmackDown Elimination Chamber towards now what's been happening this past Raw to this coming SmackDown to WrestleMania. Now we will see The Rock come on SmackDown, and we'll see how he responds to Cody Rhodes' challenge. And we might see, I was hoping maybe see Cody Rhodes come face to face to The Rock to hear if he accepts his challenge or what he has to say. Kind of see The Rock respond to Cody Rhodes. But Cody could be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to come to your face to face. And maybe we'll see Cody Rhodes and The Rock face to face, whether you're going to accept that challenge or not. And then, of course, since, we might see Roman Reigns or the bloodline there, Seth can maybe come and have his back. And then that's when we can see Jay stir it up with Jimmy about that match at WrestleMania. Make that official. So, like I was talking about that tag team match before the championships and then that singles action. Make it official. I see where you're plotting, but I came the outcome creation of it and organizing the rest because it makes perfect sense. It'd be a great missionary, it'd be a great match, it'd be a great match. It's like, you got next year too, but it's like, it has to happen now. It makes sense now. And it's like, you could wait and do it another time, or you could do what makes sense and make it the greatest now. Because you got time for it. You got plenty of time to make it happen. Now, my question is that match going to happen that way? With the tag teams, the singles action, and then the other tag team, and then it'll be kind of like the last minute combining it together? We'll find out. That covers the big major things since Elimination Chamber. We got the Royal Rumble in the beginning of this year. Day one in the beginning of this year. All passed us by, with these Raws, these SmackDowns, WWE Live, all that good stuff. And now here we are after Elimination Chamber, a month away to WrestleMania. So that's a little bit of what I think about Elimination Chamber results and this past Raw. To prediction this coming Raw, prediction WrestleMania, and the results and outcome of WrestleMania to the prediction of this Friday Night SmackDown as well. I think that also this SmackDown, I'll say my SmackDown, I'll do a SmackDown prediction video, but I also think that Bianca Belair is going to take on Tiffany in a singles action as well for that slap across the face to handle that, an official match. And that's when undefeated streak at WrestleMania, Bianca Belair, will she have a match at WrestleMania? And I was kind of hoping her and Naomi would go for the tag team titles. But then I heard, there's a few things how she can be at WrestleMania. Like Jade Cargill could buck up and want to verse Bianca Belair in a singles action, like as we've seen a little bit of that at the Royal Rumble, complete it at WrestleMania, as they both agree that would be good. But I think this WrestleMania is going to be so good, so big that, like I said, with the championships, with the tag team, with that other championship and that other tag team and that singles action, I think Bianca and Jade Cargill will, because we got 2 title shots: Seth, Cody, Universal Champion, World Heavyweight Champion Drew, and Roman. And we also got The Rock and you involved, and possibly a tag team before the title shots happen. And like I said, with the Rhea and Becky Lynch championship, tag team, plus the Jay and Jimmy singles action. So they might hold off, and we might not even see the Jay and Jimmy singles action either. They might hold off for the Jay and Jimmy singles action next WrestleMania. We'll see Jay Uso, since he is main event Jay Uso. So since they're gonna have Roman and Cody in the main event for the championship, and Seth and Drew for the world title, they're gonna make one of those two matches, probably Cody and Roman the main event, and then Seth and Drew the second main event, and their tag team is gonna kick it off. So they're gonna make those championships and that tag team, if it happens, with that tag team championships, the two main events. With Rhea and Becky, like I was talking about that tag team, the main events. That is gonna be the main picture. So what better than main event Jey Uso? Get the main event Jey Uso versus Jimmy next year at WrestleMania. And then Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill to see who the strongest woman is on SmackDown next year at WrestleMania. So we see main event Jey Uso versus Jimmy in the main event next year, WrestleMania. Jade and Bianca Belair can get the main event next year at WrestleMania. That singles match. Hell, we might even see that tag team that I was talking about with Rhea and Becky and all that next year too. Might even happen this year. Split it up a little bit. So it'd be a greatest WrestleMania with the titles on the line, with possibly the tag team to now this title and tag team, and then those couple singles actions to still have a great. People like me would, we still need a great WrestleMania 40, but also 41 needs to be a great turn. So, and also their great ideas to split it up. So this year's WrestleMania 40 into next year's WrestleMania 40. I'm already making predictions to matches of this year's and results of this year WrestleMania to predictions even next year at WrestleMania that I plan to be at. Man, I'm a future and organized creator. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I had to pull it out what I was thinking. So based on the results of Raw, I think that Jey Uso will get a singles action against Drew this coming Raw in a singles action. I know Adam Pearce said Becky will take on Nia in a singles action. I think Liv will get involved though, and she'll have to take on Liv, and Mommy gets to get the pressure off her for a bit. So I will do a Raw prediction video, but that's just a little scoop of pre-Raw prediction video for those of you watching my podcast. But I'll do a full Raw prediction and then an actual video, and probably shoot out some Instagram on some thoughts on there like I do sometimes, but not all the time. Try to keep it on stat. And then with the SmackDown, like I said, I think that we'll have Bianca Belair take on Tiffany in a singles action, and how will she get to WrestleMania this year? I think that Bayley and Dakota Kai, now they gotta figure out what they're gonna do about Damage Control. Maybe go out the Community Warriors for the tag team championship belts, but the rest of them might be involved. I was kind of hoping that Naomi and Bianca would do that, go after the tag team titles, because since Bianca's had so many issues with Damage Control, and then Bayley, she's in the title shot against Io Shirai at WrestleMania. I haven't really stirred it up. But you also have had issues with Damage Control. Maybe you go after the women's tag team title, because Bianca hasn't won the women's tag team titles either yet. So maybe we can see Bianca Belair win the women's tag team titles against the Community Warriors, who at WrestleMania to keep her undefeated WrestleMania streak, become tag team women's champion for the first time in her career, and in Damage Control, who she's been having issues with like all year last year. A little bit this year, not too bad. And maybe Naomi will team up with her to take on Asuka and Io Shirai or Kairi Sane for the tag team titles. With Naomi being a former tag team champion, with Bianca Belair first time winning the tag team champions, with Naomi and her having that run on SmackDown and undefeated streak at WrestleMania for Bianca Belair, and she's had issues with Damage Show, and Naomi might be like, you know what, I'll step up to the plate and help her out. So we might see Bianca Belair and Naomi. I think they're gonna go out for the tag team titles. I think could be yours at WrestleMania. I think that would be a good match right there. And then save Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill match for next year. And the Jay and Jimmy, maybe they'll brawl this year at WrestleMania, but save that extra match for next year and possibly possibly that Rhea and Becky match. If it doesn't happen in tag team this year, we've seen Rhea and Becky go for the world title this year at WrestleMania. Maybe we could see them versus Nia and Liv in a tag team then next year at WrestleMania. So world champion this year, tag team next year. Maybe Naomi and Bianca could go after the tag team titles, could be Warriors this year. Handle Jade next year. And like I said, it seems like that's what they're trying to do. It'd be nice if they just went after the championship belts and had each other's back and push that tag team to next year. But it sounds like they might be trying to do it on part 1 and 2 because who knows if, The Rock will be wrestling next year or there next year or if they still want to do the plan or if it even makes sense because you got to find something that drags it out the year around and, it's like an ongoing thing that's been drugged out. And of course, you got, these different wrestling matches in between there. This distracts you a little bit, but also get to what started the conversation in the first place. Just so you don't get bored with the storyline and everything. So I think that's a great between these Raws and SmackDowns. Prediction results for this month towards this WrestleMania. I think that'd be great for the prediction and the outcome of that. And then of course you got the rest of the year towards next WrestleMania, which I hope to be there live. I will be at the last WWE Live before WrestleMania though of this year at the end of March. So I will be at that one and get good, photos and entries and videos right there like I do and share that with you guys. And of course do a Raw and SmackDown prediction of next Raw when that happens, the result video, and of course the episode podcast of this week, and then also a prediction. Even though I did a little bit of previews here to SmackDown WrestleMania, the results outcome of that as well. I'm just getting the scoop what I think's going on here, and even to next WrestleMania, a little bit of everything, because that's what it seems like they're doing. What's going on here? So, with that being said, that covers the big major things. And then the little things that I think is going to happen with the SmackDown coming up. How will The Rock respond to Cody Rhodes? And will we see him and Cody Rhodes face to face respond? And then, of course, we've seen the Bloodline on SmackDown, and then it was Cody on Raw, and it was after Elimination Chamber. And now I know that The Rock will be there to respond to Cody Rhodes this Friday Night SmackDown. But the question is, that with the Bloodline being there and everything, how are they going to come across, like, leading up to them being face to face? To, settle it and, like, they just schedule the matches anymore. They don't even do contract signings, haven't been doing that. They've just been axing and getting it done. Even for the championship belts, we haven't seen a contract signing in a while. They just like, you won the Royal Rumble, you go for the championship belt. Okay, you don't need a contract signing. You won the Elimination Chamber, you go for the championship belt. There's no need to sign a contract. You won the stipulation match to earn it, so you don't need a contract. And we've seen them face to face, and what happened there, how it stirred it up to bigger things now. Why that became about. Why now Cody Rhodes is getting fed up with it. Now, to me, I see now the old Cody Rhodes coming out. Because we've gotten to see this new, mature, nice, put together Cody Rhodes. But when you were in the legacy, when you were tag team champions, you were dominant. You had a little aggressive to you before you became AEW champion, like in the American Nightmare. We've seen aggressiveness from him, and then he became this nice, mature guy, trying to better himself, finding himself. Now he's fed up with he's fed up with what he's talking about. He's bringing out that old card. You might see something that you haven't seen before. Roman Reigns sees him as, oh, you're too nice of a guy to stand up for yourself. With last week, the old Cody Rhodes coming out, taking out the security guards, leaving Paul Heyman a message. Roman Reigns might see a Cody Rhodes he's never seen before, and might not be laughing anymore in his face. And same with The Rock, you slap him in the face because you got all pissed off, and you're responding the way that you do, but you might see a response from Cody Rhodes that you haven't seen yet. And of course, he's not alone. Seth always tells him, "I got your back," especially in this situation because he has an issue with him. Roman's always taking shots at him and stuff too. So it's not, the bloodline hasn't really attacked Seth Rollins, but Roman, specifically, Seth and Roman, they go back, for the Shield before the whole bloodline and all that stuff and domination and everything. So, and that was not too long ago where Roman was taking shots at him, including at the XL WrestleMania press conference. So, between all that, you got a little bit of everything here. You got a little bit of scoop of everything. When Sasha brings me back to Monday Night Raw, where we have R-Truth and talking about dominate teams. We talked about dominate like Judgment Day. I was talking about Rhea Ripley coming out of that as World Women's Champion. Like, that's her family and everything, but she's World Women's Champion on her own. And I'll focus on Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, get some of that pressure off her. I was talking about dominate team with Seth and Roman, how they're at each other, start taking back to the Shield, dominate together and doing it on different brands. Another dominant team, the Judgment Day on Monday Night Raw. Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Priest and Balor, where it all matters, remain Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And then you got also Mr. Money in the Bank. Now it seems like they want to go after their Intercontinental Championship belt against Gunther. And it seems like, if anybody, that's leveled up. It seemed like Dominic was going to go after the Intercontinental Championship belt. So, with that being said, because it's like Priest and Finn Balor, Damian Priest and Finn Balor, they're Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions where it all matters at Elimination Chamber. So now, they want Dominic to get the Intercontinental Champion. He was a North American champion, whether you guys liked it or not. He made it happen. And then you got Rhea, who's the World Women's Champion. So the Judgment Day will be holding on the gold, plus some Mr. Money in the Bank. They'll be holding all the gold. At least enough to dominate. But it's like, at the same time that you have all that, there's one man missing a championship belt, and that's JD. What about him? What about his accomplishment? What about what he can do in the ring? And what about his experience? His experience in domination will pay off because then they'll probably go after the world title. I'm guessing. Doesn't mean it will happen that way. I'm just saying that'll probably be the next big step. And then Seth Rollins is going to have a problem because of the Judgment Day. But it's like, same with him and Cody Rhodes. Like, Seth's got your back against the Bloodline. And as Seth has your back against the Bloodline, Cody will have his back against the Judgment Day. So, and also Jey Uso and probably Sami Zayn. Because they had issues with the Judgment Day. So, since coming out of the Bloodline. So, it's all win-win situation there. And it seems like that's what they're stirring up. They're going after the Intercontinental Championship right now. What I was talking about with Darth, if you got him, who's is a funny character, a funny guy, a former 24 champion, makes everybody laugh and just feel good. You see R-Truth and The Miz back to being a tag team just like the good old days, and have Johnny Gargano and Tommaso have his back, coming from NXT rivals to tag team partners to him and The Miz tag team partners then and now. So now they got their own little group like the Judgment Day does, and having him be as funny, characteristic as he does, as well as talent in the ring, making Damian Priest break character and laugh the way that he has. So he's supposed to be a serious man, a dominant man, one who, only laughs at the pain he inflicts on his opponents. To get him to laugh at it just because you're joking or whatever you said or did, and it took him a while to put his hands on him too. R-Truth has got it and that hype guy for Raw. And now he's got some backup with Miz and Johnny and Tommaso Die. Like, they look forward to getting the Judgment Day. It kind of seems like maybe we'll see Team Die, Johnny and Tommaso and R-Truth and the Miz. Like I said, they're rivals on NXT, now they're tag team partner, and then the Miz and R-Truth tag team partner then, and now they're tag team partner now. It looks like we might see them four guys team up against Priest, Balor, Dominic, and JD in a 4-on-4 8-man tag team match maybe this coming Raw. Maybe we'll see that, as well as Becky is going to get her hands on Nia. Adam Pearce said that singles action is going to happen. On Raw, we saw that when she's like, I want a match. He's like, you want it? You got it. But we can certainly see, as Liv said, everything's not about you. Like, she'll get involved and want a match with her. It almost seems like we could put it into a triple threat. But, but then we wouldn't see Nia and being this giant, like Becky and Liv might go after her. But won't see really much of Liv and Becky. So, just split it up into two singles action rather than collaborating all together into what looked like it was starting to be a triple threat. So, based off those results of Raw and what was said this past Raw, that covered, the last 2 weeks episode and podcast, and then this past week episode and podcast with the Raw and SmackDown predictions, results, Elimination Chamber prediction results, and now my prediction and results of this WrestleMania. Hell, even predictions to next WrestleMania, and a little bit of what I think is going to happen this coming Raw and this coming Friday night SmackDown. So it's like, that's a little prediction this coming Friday night SmackDown. Before I'll do a full Friday night SmackDown prediction video before we head to Raw, which I'll do a Raw prediction video as well. And then a podcast, of course, over this week and everything. Like, it seems like that's where it's stirring up to. And then also we cover like WWE Live, the Inside News, and Out Now, and where we are now. So, as Naomi, our women's champion, was on the bump, she gets to sit back and relax for a minute before WrestleMania. It's Becky Lynch that feels all the pressure now after winning Elimination Chamber. But she'll pull through and get through it, and we'll see them throw down for the World Women's Championship at WrestleMania, and it'll be a good match to watch. With that also being said, then we have, the breakdown of it all, Elimination Chamber. So that is the, World Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley over Nia Jax. Becky Lynch, our Women's Elimination Chamber winner. Drew McIntyre is our Men's Elimination Chamber winner. Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions Priest and Balor still remaining as such, and Kabuki Warriors still Tag Team Women's Champion. Now that is the rundown results of Elimination Chamber. You can follow, subscribe on Instagram and YouTube. Check out my Elimination Chamber prediction and result video. Check them out and enjoy that by following, subscribing on Instagram. You can find us on Inside News as well, and also watch this and more podcasts like it. And then also with my Raw and SmackDown, you can check out those prediction results, as I did a little bit of preview of this coming SmackDown, but I'll have a SmackDown video prediction and results, as well as next prediction results for Raw. as a dead preview for that. But you can watch my other ones that I've already done. And then you can also check out my first album playlist with successful music video, but this other album playlist successful and entertaining activities I put in between there, like with the press conference of Elimination Chamber. You can check that out and my thoughts on it as I was talking about here, the rundown Elimination Chamber, what I thought of it towards WrestleMania, including hell, even next year WrestleMania getting ahead because, like I said, before you turn your eyes and your back and your nose around, WrestleMania is gonna be hitting you right in the face. You know, we are talking about this 4 months ago, and now we only got 1 month left before WrestleMania, and it felt like we were just talking about it just yesterday. So, when it's back at the Royal Rumble now it's WrestleMania time. So, and I brought the Dirty Live because you can also follow guys check out my Dirty Live like St. Louis Monday Night Raw, Lincoln Friday Night SmackDown, Iowa and Kansas City with the Raw and SmackDown. You can check out some Dirty Live NXT, all them videos as well as I was talking about this WWE Live. Last one before WrestleMania, I'll be out live and show them, take some videos on the screen to like I do and put them into a video to enjoy and watch as well. You can check that out there. I've also collaborated along with the Raw results this past Raw, last SmackDown results, and Elimination Chamber results, including the press conference and pre-cast of it, and the Raw SmackDown prediction in between there. So you can check out them entertainment and add them between the Raw and SmackDown prediction result video. You can check out album playing some songs to sing and rapping in the audio, snippets and things like that, and subscribe because you're missing out on a hell of a lot. It's a lot to watch and enjoy, and it's awesome. And then also, you have, I was going to talk about Anthony a little bit, but you have also on SmackDown, speaking of it, since now we passed this Raw, like this was the podcast over the last 2 in 1 week, and just a little bit on this past Raw, so it makes sense it's coming since it's already Tuesday now, and that was just like an overnight thing. So I thought I'd bring that up, but I will talk about it more and like show the prediction result video of Raw. I will show you that in my podcast over this week when I do that either this week or by Monday. Because I see it's Tuesday I'm doing it, but I want to talk about it because it made more sense of where we're at now with WrestleMania. Where we're at now with the matches, with the lines up, with the possibilities and interference and things to even pushing it to next year. And how these storylines can come about for both brands and bring the outcome of both of them. So now, you can join that and do it. Like I said, subscribe and enjoy the videos and stuff like that. I was going to show them, but I might just show some and kind of skim through it a little bit. Because we don't have a lot more time. Like I said, it'd be okay if we reached over the hour mark, which we are way over the hour mark. But I'm going to keep going and get to the point that I was talking about because I put these new podcasts into one for a double knockout for last week and this week. So it's a double punchies. We reached that hour mark. Yay, celebration now. Here we are over it, still talking about because there's so many to cover, so much to talk about that you just don't have enough time to cover exactly everything. So that's why I be opening up these podcasts, and I already got last week and this week already talked about and discussed what I feel about it and what I think is coming around SmackDown and Elimination Chamber passing now towards WrestleMania. And you see it's about a half an hour over because it makes perfect sense, including next match. And still not done there because there's so much to talk about in this that you just have to hit it right on the nail. Like, it makes sense this tag team. It makes sense this Jay versus Jimmy. It makes sense that I really want to see that happen with Naomi and Bianca go out the tag team titles against the Kabir Warriors. Like I think that'd be cool to watch that happen because Naomi has won the tag team titles, at WrestleMania, so she can do that again. She has the experience and she's done it. And Bianca Belair has an undefeated streak at WrestleMania, 4 titles, so she knows what she's doing. I think Bianca and Naomi would make a great glow and strength team. High fly classic from Naomi, the strength and the power from Bianca Belair, and that's what you need. And the technique that they have, the coordination between the two, as Bianca was one of those familiar faces that gave a warm welcome to Naomi on the SmackDown brand. Now, we've seen Tiffany slap Bianca. Bianca kind of get her revenge elimination chamber against her. I think that Bianca should go back to, Damage Control, who might be barking up her tree like the Kabuya Warriors as tag team champions because they've had that little, not so much as last year, but they've had that altercation thing between them. It's like Bailey and Dakota Kai, they only got each other right now. And that leaves Io Shirai, who wasn't happy with Dakota Kai and Bailey. And that leaves our Kabuya Warriors. Kairi Sane and Asuka, who I think will be barking back at Bianca just because Damage Control always goes out there. Like, that's kind of what Bailey stirred up, and they kind of left off of her. That then that'll allow Naomi to come out and be like, let's go for the titles at WrestleMania. And then that'll leave Io Shirai and Bailey for the championship belt at WrestleMania to discuss that after that attack last week, including Dakota Kai, where she stands as far as making sure no more attacks happen, or at least not enough to keep you out of WrestleMania from having Bailey's back with, it would be Bailey versus Io Shirai for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. But Bailey's going to address this SmackDown probably. I'm guessing Bailey would address this SmackDown towards Io Shirai for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania for the attack. And that Dakota Kai will have her back because of the rest of the Damage Control will be lurking outside of the ring. But with Naomi and Bianca keeping the Kabuya workers busy for the Tag Team Championship belt, winning them again for Naomi, first time ever winning Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair, undefeated streak Bianca Belair, Naomi another WrestleMania win, 4 championships that has so much collaboration that Naomi and Bianca become Tag Team Champions Kabuya workers just makes sense at WrestleMania. With her having a history of Damage Control, her getting a warm welcome, agreeing to be her partner, with the experience they have, with the coronation they have, it makes sense to put that match on for the titles. Kabuya Workers and Bianca Belair and Naomi, and it could be the EST glow. That's how you do that. Bianca Belair and Naomi, EST glow against Kabuya Workers at WrestleMania for the Tag Team Women's Championship. Book it, make it happen after this SmackDown. Make it happen. That leaves Bailey to focus on Io Shirai for the Women's Championship belt at WrestleMania. And where Dakota Kai stands, I mean, you seem like you're in Bailey's corner, but you having Bailey's back and taking out the pole, and then you get attacked, and then Bailey's trying to see what happened, and she got attacked. Either A, Dakota Kai is going to have Bailey's back to make sure it's even and clean match, or B, Dakota Kai was lurking to make sure that she got Bailey's trust, but she's probably looking to take Bailey out of the equation when she least expects it. You think, oh, everything's even. The Kabuya workers are busy with the EST glow, Bianca and Belair and Naomi for the Tag Team Women's Championship belt. I got Io Shirai in the singles action for the Women's Championship belt. And that's when Dakota Kai is going to pull the rug and show her true colors. So I can see a lot of conspiracy happening there, or either she is on your team. Either way, someone's gonna fall hard. and that seems like a good match to do. And participate and make that theory apply to what I'm saying is true, because it seems like that's where it's building up to, and it seems like that's where it's leading to, and that with everything kind of going sideways and all haywire, like, you know, you said you got attacked by damage control, but it's like we didn't actually see you get attacked by damage control. And the other time, we see the people getting attacked. You know, when damage control attacked Oxa, when they attacked Alexa Bliss, when they attacked Bianca Belair, when Bayley stirred it up for them to come out there together, when they started talking about her breaking it up, and I told you damage control was going to turn against Bayley and kick her out of the group. They find it, hey, we have the gold, you don't. We're the boss, you're not. And especially with them applying domination on their own, that they didn't really need her. But of course, Bayley doesn't need a group to define her. She is a Grand Slam Women's Champion. She is a Raw Women's Champion. She has won the Royal Rumble, the first woman to do it twice, and she's main event at WrestleMania. Well, I don't know about main event, but she is going to WrestleMania for the Women's Championship belt. And she has created this dominated damage control team, and now she has to take it down. Now she has to beat Shirai for the Women's Championship belt at WrestleMania. And that's when Dakota Kai, are you Team Bayley? Like you said you were, but Bayley knew, like when she was attacking them with the pole, that you weren't nowhere to be found. You're not really on her team trying to explain yourself, which I think she's doing to pull the rug underneath her. Or, you know, if that attack shouldn't even happen, if it's even real, because I think it didn't happen and she just said it did. And the community workers can't help you because they got tagged each other. Besides, you wouldn't need to. You'd need that one person just to screw up everything, and that's exactly, you know, just like Bayley was the one person to make them together, that one person, Dakota Kai, would be to take it apart. So I think for sure that that's when Conspiracy leading this SmackDown to WrestleMania. That makes perfect sense. That just blows your mind. But that's where it seems like it makes sense in that it's going to. So, with that being said, yeah, that covers everything. Goes up the past and the future now to now this SmackDown as a response to Raw to WrestleMania. That's where we're at. That's where we're swirling around the sea. Because I kind of thought that Bianca Belair would verse Tiffany in a singles action because, yes, you know, Tiffany slapped Bianca Belair, who got the best of Tiffany in the Elimination Chamber match. But I feel like Belair needs to beat her in a match on SmackDown. She didn't really get to her because she did buck at her the day she was there. You know, it's like Tiffany slapped Michigan in the face, so Michigan went to beat Tiffany in a singles action, and then she slapped Bianca Belair in the face, who was on commentary, wasn't even in the match, just watching along the ringside. Got her revenge a little bit in Elimination Chamber, but Tiffany did show the best in that match. She showed why she's a former NXT Women's Champion. She did dominate in that Elimination Chamber match, going high fly off the pod, you know, putting her body and her career on the line just for entertainment. Australia was chanting her when she came out because we know what she's made of as she flew her body off of that pod. And as she was stirring it up and dominating everybody, and she has since she came to SmackDown signed and from NXT now in her first Elimination Chamber, that yes, she didn't win, but she damn sure showed that she belongs and that we could see it's Tiffy time win Elimination Chamber match. Because what we see in that ring, there's no reason why she's not in it and doesn't win again. If she's in it again, there's no reason why she shouldn't win. So, and have a championship opportunity. So, as that said, I was kind of thinking that Bianca would have a singles action with Tiffany this SmackDown, but maybe her and Naomi address the computer workers for the tag team championships to get a WrestleMania match and, benefit the both of you. They don't have opponents at WrestleMania. They need opponents to defend their titles at WrestleMania. And you've had issues with Damage Control to be the opponents to go to WrestleMania. So it makes perfect sense. And you have the technique that matches each other's ability as a team. EST Glow. Boom. Then you can add the glowiest to your EST. It's the shiniest, the finest, the lightest, the dominators. EST Glow. So, I mean, that's a little bit there. I was also kind of hoping that we would see a return, Alexa Bliss return to maybe Raw. But since we got Liv Morgan on Raw, and we got Rhea Ripley, our World Women's Champion on Raw, Io Shirai, our Women's Champion on SmackDown. We've got Judgment Day on Raw, Damage Control on SmackDown. We've got Becky Lynch on Raw, Bianca Belair on SmackDown. We got Tiffany and Naomi on SmackDown, Liv on Raw. I was kind of hoping Alexa Bliss that we would see Alexa Bliss return to the Monday Night Raw women's roster. That's what I was hoping to happen as well, and maybe I don't know, induct herself as the next women's championship challenger. Former women's Raw Women's Champion, former SmackDown Women's Champion, Miss Money in the Bank. She's Little Miss Bliss. I see her returning. I wanted her to return this past Royal Rumble and win. But since that didn't happen, I think that we'll see Alexa Bliss return and sign a full contract with Monday Night Raw roster. And maybe last time we seen her as Little Miss Bliss. Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. We've seen her as the manager for Survivor Series team, as the leader for that. We've seen her as, on the bump in between there, like this dark evil side of her and the Fiend and all that stuff. So we might see Alexa Bliss come to Monday Night Raw to even it out for the Raw roster, women's roster. As far as the SmackDown women's roster, it'd be even for, as you know, Survivor Series team and WrestleMania and Raw vs. SmackDown, and just in general for your Raw and SmackDown shows outside of Survivor Series and WrestleMania, like Elimination Chamber, they're collaborating, things like that. And then the men's department, we got our World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins on Raw. We got our Universal Champion Roman Reigns on SmackDown. We've got Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes on Raw. And Drew McIntyre's on Raw. You got the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley and the Testament on Raw, on SmackDown, I mean. But then you also, and then the Academy on Raw. But then you also got like the LWO, all of them, and the structure sort of is on SmackDown as well. So then that's when this Raw have, another dominant team outside of that. I'd say like the New Day's a tag team. So it's kind of even up there. That way you got the Raw covered for the women and the men's brand. You got a SmackDown covered for the women's and men's brand. You got WrestleMania. You got Elimination Chamber. You got like the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble where they collaborate. Elimination Chamber collaborate. WrestleMania collaborate. Survivor Series, Raw vs. SmackDown, and in particular the shows. I think Alexa Bliss would fit the Monday Night Raw women's, completing Raw as far as being equality and equal. I would like her to see her return soon, and possibly, get a match on Raw. But maybe we could see her return at WrestleMania or something. Like, I don't see her why she won right now at WrestleMania. I'm just saying that as we're heading into the greatest stage of them all at WrestleMania, still got a couple of Raws and SmackDowns and situations on Raw and SmackDown before WrestleMania that maybe we can see the return of Alexa Bliss on Raw in between there or soon after. So that's just something I would like to see and enjoy. So with that being said, that pretty much closes everything what we need to talk about and discuss. Like I said, you guys can watch, like, follow, and subscribe on both Instagram and YouTube. Check out my other podcasts, like this podcast as well. You can check out my rapping snippets, album playlists, things like that for good music and entertaining on my Raw and SmackDown prediction results, acting, funny, entertaining music and enjoyable and things like that as well to watch. And you guys can check them out. Check out, like, I was gonna show my Raw and SmackDown prediction and result video in here, but just go ahead, subscribe on Instagram, YouTube, and check them out on YouTube. And thank you guys for watching and enjoying this. Queen Crazy K out. Peace.